Today I want to tell you everything about the new iPad Pro 2021 release date and price, and of course the latest on design and specs with the news of the new 120Hz mini LED display with the possibility of an M1 iPad Pro 5 coming. Let's explore! So if you want to hear the latest gaming news, tech news, reviews and comparisons, hit that subscribe button followed by the bell. So near the beginning of 2020 we had the new iPad Pro with the A12Z chipset inside. Then near the end of the year for iPad refreshes we had the newly designed iPad Air 4 with an A14 chipset inside it, and the budget standard iPad got a bump up to the A12 Bionic as well. However, with the launch of the A14 chipset and the new M1 chipset as well, a big question is out there and it's being asked, will we see the possibility of an M1 iPad Pro 5 or an iPad Pro 2021 with an A14Z inside it? Well, let's dive in on the latest iPad Pro 5 news. So with 2020 out of the way, we're expecting a new iPad Pro 2020 release date to be on the first half of the year. We believe the release date of the next iPad Pro will be March 2021, and this falls in line with most other iPads in recent years where they've come out in October or March time. For example, the iPad Pro 4 came out on March 25th, 2020, and then in 2018 the iPad Air 3 and the iPad Mini 5 came out on March 18th. So I think you're getting the picture here. We expect the iPad Pro 5 to come out in late or mid-March 2021. For price of the new iPad Pro, we expect it to be around the same as the current generation's iPad Pros. So we believe the starting price for the iPad 11-inch model will be $799 US, and the 12.9 inch starting at $999 US. Especially that the next drop down in iPad is the iPad Air 4 now, and that starts at $599 US. So this is why we expect the prices to stay the same the way they are right now. So let's start with the chipset for specs then. It's a bit of a mixed bag if we will get an iPad Pro A14Z or an M1 chipset inside the iPad Pro. As it stands right now, it is looking more likely we will actually get an A14Z or even an A14X inside that iPad Pro 2021. As the iPad is technically an iOS device, even though the OS is actually called iPad OS, but don't let this trick you, it is basically essentially the same OS as you get on an iPhone or even an iPod Touch. Now, don't be disappointed at this chipset, as the M1 chipset, yes, is very powerful, but the M1 is about 40% faster than the current normal A14 chipset inside the iPhone 12 and the iPad Air 4. Now honestly, don't be disappointed that there'll be an A chip inside the iPad Pro range, as yes, the M1 is very powerful, but the M1 is only about 40% faster than the current normal A14 chipset inside the iPhone 12 models and the iPad Air 4. However, take a look at this. If we look at the A12X inside the 2018 iPad Pro versus an iPhone XS that had the normal A12 inside it, you can see that the A12X is about 40% faster than the A12. Just to show you here, the iPhone's at the bottom of the chart and that iPad Pro is at the top. So really what I'm trying to say here is if we do get a A14Z in the iPad Pro 2021, it will be nearly as fast as the M1 or is in the new MacBook line, so it's really nothing to worry about. Now, for one, I was very disappointed with the 2020 iPad Pro specs. They are basically identical to the 2018 iPad Pro. Apart from the bottom line storage space, everything else was almost identical. We had the same battery, also another A12 processor inside. So instead of the A12X, we had the A12Z, what supposedly had a little more graphics power. However, RAM amount stayed the same. In fact, check out some benchmark videos here on YouTube of the iPad 2018 versus the iPad 2020 models. In quite a lot of cases, the iPad 2018 model actually beats the 2020 model on speed and graphics feel, what is really bizarre. For me, the only one big change on the 2020 model was the new dual lens camera setup and the LiDAR sensor. However, if you don't use your iPad as a primary camera device or don't use any apps, and there isn't many that use the LiDAR sensor, and let's be honest, only a few more will probably be created at the moment, then you may as well just buy yourself the 2018 iPad Pro right now. Anyway, enough of my rant. Let's see what the 2021 iPad Pro leaks have to offer. We have been informed by a recent link from Love to Dream that the new iPad will feature 5G connectivity. This makes total sense as the iPhone 12 and Pro models now have 5G connectivity. This is possible due to Qualcomm Snapdragon's X55 5G new modem. On top, the new iPad Pros could also have mini LED displays, says Love to Dream. This rumour has bounced around some time, and it isn't the first time we heard that the iPad Pros could be getting mini LED displays. Mini LED panels, if you don't know what they are, offer similar benefits to OLED screens, such as localised dimming and a whole wider colour gamut. Currently at the moment, such devices as the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10s and also the iPhone 11 Pro models do actually have OLED technology inside it. They may switch to micro LED, but that is a story for another day. For chipset, Love to Dream has also said the new iPads will get a new A14X chipset. Normally an X on the end means a few more cores in the processor and also strengthened graphics as well. From what we've seen from the normal A14 chipset, it is around 40% faster than the A12 chip. I'm sure that the A14X will probably be around the same and probably have an increase of 40% rise in power compared to the A12X and the Z chip. For design, we believe it will stay identical to the 2020 iPad Pro for the 2020 iPad Pro model. So this means we will get an 11 and a 12.9 inch display. Also the same for the camera setup, that it will have a dual sensor on the back and a LiDAR sensor. However, I'm sure those lenses will be better on the new Pro and the LiDAR sensor might even have an upgrade as well. We should be expecting to stick with a USB-C port on the bottom again, just like the new iPad Air 4 and all the other iPad Pros since the iPad Pro 3. We also believe that we will actually get a charger in the box, what is different to the iPhone 12 where there was no charger in the box whatsoever. For colours this year, we might actually get a bit of a change from the silver and also the space grey we normally get. We may actually get Pacific Blue, the same blue that you find on the iPhone 12 Pro and also the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and this would be a great change. So really at this stage, this is all the info we have on the iPad Pro 5. As said, I was quite disappointed with the 2020 model or the iPad Pro 4. Right now at the time of this video, I honestly cannot recommend the iPad Pro 4 or at least the 11-inch iPad Pro 4 when the iPad Air 4 is $200 cheaper and is also the thickness of a grain of rice smaller than the actual 11-inch iPad Pro. Okay, it doesn't have the Pro Motion or the LiDAR sensor, but really I think the Air 4 is a better buy over the 11-inch 2020 iPad Pro. I am really hoping the A14X or the A14Z will be a super powerhouse with that new micro LED, and the iPad Pro 5 is worthy of its name. So just quickly then, as we're nearing the end of this video, that giveaway I mentioned earlier, to be in the chance to get your hands hands on that new iPhone 12 Pro in Pacific Blue, I would love to know from you, if do you own an iPad at the moment, or maybe you might be getting one of these new iPad Pros in 2021. Let me know in the comments below, and when we get over 100,000 subscribers, I'll be picking a lucky winner to get their hands on that iPhone 12 in Pacific Blue. But make sure you've subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell to find out if you'll be that lucky winner. So, are you excited about the iPad Pro 5 and will you be getting one? Let me know below what model you plan to buy. Well guys, that is the latest and greatest info we have for the iPad at this stage. As we get closer to the release date, we will get more info, and of course we will share it with you. If you want to get that latest news, don't forget to hit the like button for this video, and of course to hear all the latest gaming news, tech news, reviews and comparisons, please do hit that subscribe button followed by the bell. Until next time guys, see ya!